Alright, so look, I'm far from a genius, but if you clicked on this video, I assume that you want to know, should you pick up the Pixel 6 Pro or the Pixel 6? Hey, don't tell Mark I'm telling you this, but you should definitely... You should definitely just pick up the Pixel 6. It's clearly the smarter approach. Both phones are great and both serve a different purpose. This video is meant for the average person to look at and decide. So let's start out with the obvious, the phones, but not just the phones, the actual body of the phones, you know, the thing you'll be touching every day. Usually what differentiated Pro models between the non-Pro models is that the Pro models had a much larger display and therefore a much larger body. Well, the Pixel 6 Pro is taller, but the difference isn't really as drastic as other Pro and non-Pro phones. So if you don't like large phones, well, sorry to tell you, both of these phones are big. The Pro is a 6.7 inch display, the Pro is a 6.4 inch display. So if you were thinking about getting the smaller one because it's smaller, well, you're kind of out of luck because it's still pretty big. The good news is that if you don't like curved displays, the Pixel 6 is going to be your choice because the 6 Pro does have a curved display. Some people like it, others don't. You decide. Another differentiating factor of the displays is that the Pixel 6 Pro has a Quad HD Plus resolution, whereas the Pixel 6 has a 1080p display. But it doesn't stop there, my friends. No. The Pixel 6 Pro also has LTPO technology, which does change the refresh rate from 10Hz to 120Hz. In other words, very smooth. The Pixel 6, on the other hand, changes the refresh rate from 60Hz to 90Hz. So in other words, smooth, but not super smooth. Being a techie myself, I honestly can't tell the difference. I mean, yeah, it's there obviously, but it's nothing to really, it's not a deal breaker if you want to put it that way. In fact, if it helps battery life, I would take 90 Hz over 120 Hz any day of the week. But don't listen to my word for it. Let's hear what Emma has to say. Hi Mark, thanks for having me on. I agree. I don't really notice a difference between 90 Hz and 120 Hz. I agree. I would also take 90 over 120 if it meant having longer battery life. Back to you, Mark. Well, you heard it from Emma herself. But before we continue, guys, I need to pay for Emma's manicure. So the sponsor of today's video, Trend Micro. People are using their phones and computers more and more as time goes on, and that increases the amount of hackers that are out in the world. With Trend Micro's Premium Security Suite, you'll get access to maximum security protection for PC, Mac, Android, iOS, and the added benefit of having up to 10 devices being protected. The Premium Security Suite comes with a password manager as well as mobile security, so you can protect all your mobile devices, ID security, which does notify you if any of your information is found on the dark web, a VPN to protect your web browsing at home or when connected to any unprotected Wi-Fi source, a password manager which helps you generate hard-to-guess passwords, as well as my favorite feature, keystroke encryption. And that helps protect you against keyloggers, which is a type of malware that literally sees everything that you type on your computer. Everything. Using the mobile app is incredibly easy, and it walks you through everything that needs to be fixed. So you'll have the confidence in knowing that you are 100% protected. The computer app is also very intuitive and user-friendly. You don't have to dig around to find something that you're looking for. It's all laid out right there for you to see. So protect yourself today by using the link in the description, as well as my 10% off code MARK10. Careful, it is case sensitive, so make sure you type it in the way you see it on screen. One of the larger differences you'll see from both the phones is the actual camera itself. So the main and ultra-wide camera on the two phones are identical. Both have 50 megapixel wide and 12 megapixel ultra-wide. What you're missing from the Pixel 6 over the Pixel 6 Pro is the lack of the telephoto camera. It's just not there. The Pixel 6 Pro has a 48 megapixel telephoto camera capable of 4x optical zoom. Is there a difference? Well, you're looking at the two phones side by side. The Pixel 6 is using digital zoom to get to 4x, whereas the Pro is using dedicated 4x zoom. It's also kind of important to note that the maximum zoom range on photos is 20 times digital, whereas on the Pixel 6 standard, it's just 7 times digital, so you're missing a long reach. Oh man, I'm tired, man. I lose English when I'm tired. So both can record 4K 60 using the rear cameras, but when we're talking about the front facing camera, the Pixel 6 can only go up to 1080p 30. And the Pixel 6 Pro can go 4K 30, and that's because the front facing camera on here is 11 megapixels and this is only 8 megapixels. So 1080p 30, that kind of sucks, but I don't use front facing video anyway, so for me it doesn't matter. Maybe it matters for you. Another difference is 5G networking. See, the Pixel 6 only has, well, I should say only has sub-6 5G, whereas the Pixel 6 Pro has millimeter wave 5G. Unfortunately, I'm on T-Mobile and I don't even think they have millimeter wave. Or at least not anywhere near me. But the maximum I got on both of these phones is around 800 megabits per second download. That's fine for me. That's double what I'm getting at home using Wi-Fi. Thanks, Spectrum. You're a monster. All you gotta know is that no matter which phone you pick, you're gonna have great 5G networking. Other small cosmetic differences is that the Pixel 6 has black plastic borders that go around the entire device, whereas the Pixel 6 Pro has, I don't know if you guys can even see that, it has shiny aluminum that goes around the phone. Usually it's weird. Usually I would prefer aluminum, but there's just something about the Pixel 6 Pro that makes it so damn slippery, man. I'm scared to use the phone without a case. That's why I had a case on it before in all the other shots that you guys saw. But the Pixel 6, I don't even need to wear a case on it. It's just a very comfortable phone to hold. It's not as slippery because of the plastic there. Overall, I love it. The battery life on both of the phones is amazing. I had no issues with it at all, and both got me through the day just fine. For what it's worth, the Pixel 6 Pro has a 5003 mAh battery, and the standard Pixel 6 has 4614 mAh battery. So the Pixel 6 battery is a little bit less than the Pixel 6 Pro, but don't forget, the Pixel 6 does not have to push Quad HD, it does not have to push 12 gigs of RAM, it does not have to push 120 Hz, and it does not have to push millimeter wave 5G. Speaking of RAM, the Pixel 6 Pro has 12 gigabytes of it. The Pixel 6, 8 gigabytes. The difference is quite noticeable. If you have a lot of apps open in the background and then you go back to those apps, the Pixel 6 tends to refresh that app a lot more than the Pixel 6 Pro does. I mean, you're getting a lot more RAM, so it makes sense that the apps will stay longer in the background and you won't have to constantly reopen them. If storage is important for you, the Pixel 6 Pro goes up to 512 gigabytes of storage and the Pixel 6 goes up to 256 gigabytes of storage. So you do get double the storage on the Pixel 6 Pro, but that comes at a cost. Obviously, I don't even know why I had to say that. Obviously, it comes at a cost. It's not going to be free. I'm tired. Emma, come here, take over. If you need more storage than 512 gigabytes, neither phone has an SD card slot. So, yeah, you know, sad face. Honestly, I'm running out of ideas to talk about because both of these phones are just so similar, which is good news for the Pixel 6 because this is $300 cheaper than the Pixel 6 Pro. The Pixel 6 comes in at $599 and the Pixel 6 Pro comes in at $899. That's $300. Now you guys, oh my Jesus Christ. You guys have to look back at everything I said in the video and see if that makes a difference for you. If everything that I said makes a $300 difference. If it does, then hey, you got to get the Pixel 6 Pro. Dude, this is impossible. Ladies, how do you do this? Every day? You have hair like this every day? Nah, dude. This is impossible. So to sum everything up, both of these phones are amazing. You can't go wrong picking either of the two phones. They both have Google's brand new next generation features, such as that new assistant typing. I mean, that makes texting or looking anything up so much easier and faster. They both have Google's Magic Eraser. They both even charge at the same exact speed. I mean, the Pixel 6 Pro is like 2 watts faster, but you're not really going to notice it. They both get to 50% battery from 0 in about 30 minutes, so you're not really losing on anything. I love the Pixel 6. It's just, it just makes sense. At $599, you cannot go wrong by picking this phone. You just can't. If the Pixel 6 Pro was like $200 cheaper or $200 more instead of $300, I would say maybe pick it up. But for 300 bucks extra, I personally just don't see that big of a deal, to be completely honest. And I'm pretty sure the average non-tech geek consumer will agree. So guys, I hope that answered your question. If you're new here, I promise I'm not that weird. If you're new here and you liked this video, definitely leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much. Love you. I'm trying to get to 100K subs by next year. Let's make it happen. This was Mark from Mark's Tech. Adios.